This channel supports Extra Life in its efforts to raise money for the Children's Miracle Network. For more information about how to donate and join in their efforts, go to the link displayed here. Extra Life. Play games, heal kids. What up, everybody? This is your boy Black Magus, and so we're going to discuss Assassin's Creed Odyssey, which I've been playing. I was away in the hospital, so I couldn't get to my first impressions of this, but now I'm here with my first impressions. So here we go. What do I think of Assassin's Creed Odyssey? Game's fun. Like the game. I'm actually over 20 hours into it, which is weird. You guys, I usually like to do the first few hours, but like Spider-Man, I couldn't get to that. But for this game, I feel like 20 hours is the first few hours, and I'll explain that even more a little later. But overall, I enjoy it. It has the same feel of Origins as far as the way it's structured and play. The combat's been changed, tweaked, but it's pretty interesting. It's more built on a dodge system than a block and parry system. You can parry, but the parrying is a lot more time based to me than Origins. It's more like you parry just to do a perfect parry than to kind of block. It's like your parry in Origins is predicated off of, I guess, timing too, but more of your blocking. And if you block at a last minute, it kind of like shifts into a parry. Whereas this, you either dodge or you parry. There's no blocking at all. So now it's cool. Took some time to get used to. But still, it's fun. They have the wacky side missions that you like and all of that. They kind of bury the story a little bit. It's not the grandest story, but it's interesting enough. But I think the story is where its negative points are, more so than anything. And I'm not talking about it's just a story that just don't make sense. Because to say that about an Assassin's Creed game is to say the sun rises in the east and sets in the west. You know what I mean? Yeah. Stories in Assassin's Creed overall arcing aren't always the best, but you find yourself playing engaging, enjoyable characters, doing fun things, and getting through them, despite the ridiculousness of their stories. That being said, the story is going to take a minute because it feels like Ubisoft is trying to manufacture time even more than ever with this game. I played 60 hours of Assassin's Creed Origins. It didn't feel like it because, like I said, the side stuff and all that was engaging, and when I did indulge in the story pretty much went. I had a significant flow to it, but this story is feeling like the more you get through it, the more it starts dumping stuff on you, and the more it keeps you from getting to that stuff to complete it, because the levels tend to be pretty damn high for missions. I'm around level 20, but there are story missions that are on the board, and they're multiple. It's not like it just unlocks a certain story strain or a mini path Origins would do, where one story stream would consist of 3 components for you to get through to it. No, I'm getting story components that have at least 5 or 6 different components. And the thing about it is, while there were some that were a little above your rank in Origins, all of these seem to be extra jacked up. Again, I'm around the 20s. There's story missions that I think are close to the 30s, if not in the 30s, which means that what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to grind up, and that gives me, I guess, incentive, quote unquote, to go after all the side stuff to build up enough experience points to get to the point where I can go ahead and tackle these things. And then it's not only that, on top of that, they throw extra side stuff to these strains. Right now I have 2 story strains open, and then there's a ton of side stuff. Even without me going to this message board that they got that lets you pick through a bunch of different side quests. Sorry. The game itself, like, automatically just like generates huge strings of side stories. Like, you open up a huge major story plot, and it's like, okay, so here's your like 10 story plot things plus your 10 side quests that we found that relates to this that you can dodge through and get better stuff. And you know, I guess that's part of the appeal, is that you can keep getting better stuff and you can accomplish things, but it seems like it's going to be very, very daunting, especially since, again, you have a huge side story structure already and a lot of distractions, being an open world, lots of enemies to run into. And they even added a new set of enemies. Like, if you remember in Origins, they had these things called the Flakes. They were like special soldiers of the Roman, was it Romans? Yeah, the Roman Empire. No, of the Egyptians. They were like and I call them Flakes, Phylakes, like elite guards of the ruler of the land that were coming after you. But it was like maybe 5-10 of them. This game has something called mercenaries. You're a mercenary. You play as a mercenary. Well, let me correct myself. And I don't know this because there's two characters. There's Cassandra and there's Alexios. I don't know much about Alexios because I didn't pick him. I picked Cassandra, but Cassandra's just like a straight up mercenary. And there are other mercenaries in the world. And sometimes people put bounties on your head from these mercenaries, which can be crazy because there seems to be like 50 goddamn mercenaries to tackle. So it's like it's a side thing for you to keep worried about, because they will come out of nowhere and attack your ass. Sometimes in twos, sometimes with animals and shit like that. But you know, they generally don't come after you unless you do something that your enemies warrant them to put a bounty on your head. You know, and that's, I'm trying to be as vague as possible when I say that, because I don't want to spoil this game for anybody, but. It's like, yeah, I got all these crazy motherfuckers coming after me. I got the, you know, different factions that I'm going against coming after me. And I'm trying to figure out how to grind up enough points to move the story forward to see exactly where we're heading. And, you know, that's worrisome to me, because if you're not that person who wants to grind that hard, you're not going to probably like it. So... again, it's fun for me, but that's for now. It may die out as things increase, because I've heard things about like just story is probably 40 hours. Again, I played 60 hours of Origin, but I probably could have done 20, maybe 30 max if I just stuck to story stuff. But this game, I can't stick to story stuff because I need to do the side stuff. It's making me... It's not giving me a choice, and that's problematic. But it's making me do other stuff unless I want to bang myself against the wall trying to take care of some of these missions where I'm super overpowered, you know? So, yeah. But we'll see. We'll see what my final review eventually will be, because you guys know how I play the Odyssey games, or the last Origin and all that. I'll do the same with this, so we'll see how it goes. Because, yeah, I'm going to need to take a minute and sit back and chill on this one, especially with Red Dead coming out. Definitely. Yeah, but, you know, it's solid. It's a solid game. Just be prepared for a time drain, a serious fucking time drain. And not necessarily because you just want to go all over the map, you know. In fact, I just thought about that. I don't even think I've opened half the map. God damn. And I played over 20 hours. That's some serious shit. But yeah, check it out. I think you'll enjoy it. For how long is the question, though? That's the thing. Hopefully you'll do like me and go through it, because it seems like it's you know, it's gonna have a weird enough payoff to be worthy of the Assassin's Creed lore. But anyway, as always, you guys, feel free to hit me up. Let me know what you think, and I'll haunt you later. This your boy Black Makers, and I'm out. Deuces.